All right, so we finally got ESPN's pound for pound listing. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I want to say this from the bottom of my heart, right? ESPN, I want to say thank you for finally taking Vasil Lomachenko off the pound for pound list. Oh, I mean, it took y'all a century, at least a decade, man, to get this man off the list. And the man is finally off the list. Woo! Yo, it's a good day. It's a good day. Now I know some of y'all are mad about Crawford still being number one. And you don't understand the reason why Canelo is so low. And me personally, I don't agree with Canelo being that low either. And yeah, it's just, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I feel like Canelo went up to try to go for greatness. He loses one time to Bivol, which obviously Bivol is serious, a serious problem. And then he goes up to face Bivol, loses, and then he comes back down and finishes up the trilogy with Triple G. And then y'all still have him so low. I don't get why Charlo is not on the list. Um, I'm sorry, I don't understand why Shakur is on the list right now. I don't. Is Shakur going to be on the list for sure? Yeah, but Shakur lost his belts on the scale. The man did not defend his belts. So you can't. That's the thing about this list. You can't keep putting people on the list just because these folks fight for top rank. You know, that's just, I mean, you just like, I understand how you feel, but y'all can promote these folks and you can market them and everything like that, but you can't keep on putting these people that's on top rank on the card, like on the pound for pound list all the time. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. Shakur will be on the pound for pound list for sure, but he shouldn't be on there right now. The man lost his belts on the scale. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Like he lost, and like Shakur. I have said this from the beginning, from when he came into when he came professionally. Shakur is a whole nother level when it comes to boxing, and he's going to be one of those greats. But I just don't feel like Shakur needs to be there right now, especially when you're not having Charlo on the list. So Charlo is a undisputed. He's undisputed at 154. Charlo needs to be on the list. Haney should have been on the list. Loma should have been off the list. Yeah, I don't care. Usyk has to be number 2 in my personal opinion. Now, here's the reason why I still got Crawford as number 1. It's because of this. Crawford, y'all forget, Crawford was undisputed before. I know it's been so long, but Crawford and Usyk were both undisputed in another weight class. And Crawford and Usyk are knocking at the door of two divisions being undisputed. So because of that, that's why I feel like Usyk and Crawford should be there. Now, I feel that Canelo should be in like number 3. And you could probably have Tyson Fury probably because of the way that he did Deontay Wilder. I think that you got to have Tyson Fury like 4 right behind Canelo. So I mean, I got Crawford and Usyk together. And I got, because Spence, yeah, he's got 3 of the 4 belts, but Spence hasn't been undisputed before. So that's the reason why I don't have Spence like that. He's in a very strong division, welterweight division, but um yeah, in a way, okay, yeah, but in a way still he shouldn't be like that. Um I just don't have in a way in I don't have him in my top 5. And but yeah, Devin Haney should have been on the list. He should have been on the list for the longest. Um Bivol and Beterbiev. I still have Bivol and Beterbiev at the bottom of my list just because regardless, yeah, okay, Bivol beat Canelo, but it's the same thing that I had with Triple G. Like I had Triple G on the list, and Triple G, the only person that he lost to was Canelo. So that's why I had him on the list before. I don't have Triple G on the list anymore just because I feel like um I think it's pretty much done for him. He needs to get a win in his own division, and I think that Janet Janibek is just too strong. So I think that if anybody gets in the ring in the I think if anybody gets in the ring in the middleweight division, Charlo got to see if Charlo's going to get back in the ring at middleweight. We'll see, but yeah, I think Triple G is pretty much done there. So that's the reason why I took him off of my list. But I had him on the list. So I can't so I have Bivol and Beterbiev at the bottom of the list just because they're sort of the same to me. They're sort of the same. Both of them are not you're not beating them. Those two, you're not beating Beterbiev or Bivol. It's just not happening. Those two are gonna have to face each other. So, but they don't look like fighters that are actually going to go outside of their weight class. So, and Beterbiev is getting older. So, Bivol always had the higher ceiling to me. I said this for the longest. And yeah, um, so that's sort of how I round out my list. I always have Haney and Charlo, the 154 Charlo, on the list no matter what. Like they're going to be on the list. And regardless, you got to give Josh Taylor a little bit more respect than you do, even though Josh Taylor hasn't fought. But Josh Taylor should have been on the list a while ago. But I understand if you want to take Josh Taylor off the list now just because of the inactivity. But I don't feel like that's warranted, you know. But see, that's the reason why the ESPN list is so trash, because you've had Loma on this list for so long, holding up a spot of people that deserve to be on the list. Charlo has to be on the list. Devin Haney have to be on the list. They have to be on the list no matter what. So if you got to move somebody else off the list, if you got to move Bivol off the list, you got to move Beterbiev off the list, or you got to move Shakur off the list, then you got to move those 3 off the list. Like Devin Haney and Charlo have to be on the list. Inoue needs to be on the list, but Inoue does not have to be in the top 5. And I don't know how you have Inoue above Canelo. How do you have Inoue above Canelo? ESPN? How do you do that? You know? Canelo? Alvarez, like the cash cow? Canelo? Come on, man. Like that's crazy. That's very disrespectful. Like you can't have Canelo below Inoue. No. But you got to have Usyk above Canelo, and you got to have Crawford above. You got to have Crawford. You got to have Crawford in the top 2. And the only reason why I say that is because Crawford is, to me, he's the best fighter at welterweight. Even though Spence has all the belts, I feel like Crawford got the edge. But Crawford already has undisputed. He's already undisputed. Now, that's the only thing. I think technically Crawford is better than Spence. And Crawford already has undisputed. So that's the reason why I always will have Crawford above Spence. If you're gonna have, you gotta have Spence on the list. So if you gotta have Spence on the list, you're not gonna have Spence above Canelo. You cannot have Spence above Canelo. You can't have Inoue above Canelo. So if that's the case, like, you gotta have Crawford and Usyk at 1 and 2, or tied at 1. That's the logic, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. And Tyson Fury, the way he did Deontay Wilder, you gotta have Tyson Fury in the top 5. So that means, by deductive reasoning, you gotta have Crawford and Usyk at 1 and 2. You gotta have Canelo at number 3. And then number 4, you probably got to have Tyson Fury at number 4. And then Spence probably at number 5. Inoue at number 6. And then, so now you got 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 7, 8, 9, and 10. You got to have Haney. You got to have Haney at either 8 or 9. You gotta have Charlo. You probably have to have Charlo below Haney. So if that's the case, yeah, I feel like, and if you don't want to have Josh Taylor on the list, which I feel like that's sort of a slight at Josh Taylor because he was undisputed, I feel like I can see why, but I still have Josh Taylor on the list, but I'm not going to have Josh Taylor above Haney. So I'll say Haney at what, number 7? So Haney at number 7, Charlo at number 8. I'm going to give Josh Taylor. I'm going to give Josh Taylor a chance. I'm going to say Josh Taylor at 9. And then you got to make a choice between Beterbiev and Bivol for number 10. Shakur doesn't make the list. So, yeah, I think that's the list. Like that. So, I think that's a pretty good list. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other possibility how that could go. Yeah, so I got Crawford. I still got Crawford at number 1. I got Crawford, Usyk number 1, tied. That still hasn't changed for me. So my number 3 is Canelo, just based off there's no number 2. So number 3 is Canelo. Number 4 is Tyson Fury. Number 5 is Spence. Number 6 is Inoue. Number 7 is Haney. Number 8 is Charlo. Number 9 is Josh Taylor. Number 10. I like Beterbiev better. I mean, I like Bivol better than Beterbiev, even though Beterbiev is that thing. I have them sort of the same. So I'll have Beterbiev and Bivol sharing number 10. That's what I got. That's my list. That's what I got. ESPN, y'all's list is trash. Y'all need to stop doing this type of stuff when you only have top-ranked fighters, and you got to have a top-ranked fighter on the list just because your relationship with Bob Arum. Like, it just makes y'all stuff look crazy. It makes it look crazy. Yeah, I know a lot of people, they don't like the fact that heavyweights are in the list, but you cannot disrespect Usyk. You can't disrespect Tyson Fury. Those two, that's a whole nother animal. So, yeah, that's what I feel. That's my thoughts. That's what I got. And with that being said, hey, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified of all the good content that we got this year and beyond. And with that being said, as always, peace, one love. We out of here.